everyone, welcome into another episode of Matt Sports Talk, and in this video we are going to be recapping all of the games from yesterday, and we are going to begin on the men's side. And before we do that, if you are, pardon me, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below so you're first notified whenever I upload new episodes, and I truly appreciate any feedback that you may provide me. And for those of you that are already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate that. And it's hard to believe that we are down to the last week of the regular season. The conference tournaments are coming up next week. And then the national tournament will be coming up here roughly in about 1 month. And the selection show is 3 weeks away now. So, again, this is the place to be here on my YouTube channel as we head into the first week of March, because I am going to really be busy talking about all the final RPI numbers, the final ARC, and the final quad records. And speaking of that, we have 2 more RPI numbers that will be released before the national tournament, one of which is coming up tomorrow, so I'll be recording a video going over all of that. And then Tuesday, actually tomorrow, we have not just the RPI, but we also have the updated ARC numbers that will also be coming out. I believe it's the ARC tomorrow. Now I can't remember. I know one of them along with the RPI is coming out tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's the quad records that are coming out tomorrow along with the RPI, and then Tuesday we'll have the next ARC numbers. So again, make sure that you stay tuned for that. And then outside of that, this is the final time that we will have an updated ARC and quad records until the first week of March, right before Selection Show Thursday, and we will have 2 more weeks of the RPI. Of course, we have the ones coming out tomorrow, and then we will also have the ones coming out next Monday as well, leading up to the conference tournament. And then we will have our final one the day of the conference tournament championship games. So, pardon me, so again, make sure that you stay tuned for that. And of course, I'll just be going over the women's side of things regarding the RPI, ARC, and quad records, because there is a lot of competitive conferences this year, and honestly, there could be a lot of good teams left out of the national tournament just because of how competitive everything is across the country. So our first game we are going to recap from yesterday, and again, we're just talking about the men's side in this video. We had Spring Arbor hosting Goshen yesterday. Spring Arbor, the winners here, 75-65, so it was kind of a close game. But leading the way for Goshen was Marcus Northern. Had a career game, 26 points, 10 of 18 shooting. He was 6 of 8 from beyond the arc. He also had 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. Braden Allen did not score, but he had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal, though. 6 points for Kevin Cota. He was 3 of 5 shooting. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. 6 points for Cameron Williams. 2 of 7 shooting, 1 of 3 from deep, 1 of 2 at the line, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks, though. It's really, really good to see that. And then Kenny May with 6 points. He struggled shooting at just 2 of 11, but he was a perfect 2 of 2 at the charity stripe. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Off the bench, you had 5 points from Savion Williams, 2 of 3 shooting, 1 of 1 from deep. He had 5 rebounds, 3 steals, and 1 block, though. He also had 5 points for Jacob Carlson, 2 of 6 shooting, 1 of 5 from deep, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and a block. 3 points for Deacon Hill with 1 rebound. Jaraj Minarovec did not score, but he had 1 assist. 8 points for Caleb Thompson off 3 of 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep, and that was just in 12 minutes of action. He also had 1 assist. And then Joshua Gentry in 2 minutes of action, no statistics. Goshen had a season-low 7 turnovers, so that is a huge, huge achievement for them. They shot 39 from the field, 40 from 3, and decent at the free throw line, converting 3 out of 5 for 60. And, of course, we've had rain here this morning, so that's why my room looks a little bit darker than what it typically does. And then for Spring Arbor shot better from the field at 41, slightly worse from 3 at 38, and we're just as equal from the charity stripe, converting 9 out of 15 for 60%. 11 turnovers for Spring Arbor, so pretty even there. And they had a career day by Travis Grayson, 27 points, 9 of 18 shooting, 8 of 12 at the line, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. You had 9 points for Eli White, getting his first starting time, I believe, this year. 3 of 8 shooting, which was all from deep. He had 1 assist. You had 3 points for Aiden Zank with 4 rebounds. Only 2 points for Ty Reisky, but he had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, though. It's really, really good to see that. And then Dante Favor, 15 points, 13 rebounds, so another double-double for him. 7 of 13 shooting, 1 of 1 at the line. He also had 5 assists and a steal. Off the bench, you had Cam Radacre with 3 points and 3 assists. You had 9 points for Shane Reisky off 3 of 6 shooting. 3 of 5 of that was from downtown. 1 rebound and an assist as well. Warwick Elder did not score, but he had 3 rebounds in just 9 minutes of action. It's really, really good to see that. And then you got 7 points for Brandon Trilly, 3 of 8 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep. He had 10 rebounds, though. It's really, really good to see that. 1 assist and 1 steal. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us to Fort Wayne, Indiana, where St. Francis hosted Marion, and St. Francis, no problem here, 95-87. So it was a kind of a close game, and for Marion, with their loss, they officially have been eliminated from postseason contention for the 2nd straight year. And this was a team that was projected 5th in preseason. I had them projected 9th, so pretty much exactly right where they are. And now for Marion, this was despite Marion having one of their best shooting games of the year, 53% from the field, 46 from 3. They struggled at the free throw line, converting 7 out of 13 for 53. And leading the way for Marion was Aaron Humphrey Jr., 29 points, 13 of 18 shooting, 3 of 6 from the line. He had 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. You had 21 points for Aiden Franks, off 7 of 14 shooting, 5 of 10 from deep, 2 of 3 at the line with 4 assists, 3 rebounds. You also had Ron Rutland at the third with 15 points, 5 of 14 shooting, 3 of 6 from deep, 2 of 4 at the line. He had 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. Only 4 points for Josiah Gustin, 2 of 5 shooting with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and then 3 points for Joshua Renfro, who was 1 of 2 shooting. And then you off the bench, you had Alhaji Diallo with 11 points in just 9 minutes, 4 of 6 shooting, 3 of 5 from deep with a steal. Luke Carroll did not score, but he had 7 rebounds and a steal. Only 2 points for Luke Lindemann with 1 rebound, and Blake Russell in 4 minutes of action with 2 points. And of course, Dylan Moles did not play yesterday. Don't know if he's hurt, or if he's injured rather. Not sure about that, but that's obviously a big thing to keep an eye on. And then for St. Francis, they shot even better from the field at 59. They were worse from 3, albeit by not a lot, at 41. And they were way better at the free throw line, converting 18 out of 23 for 78. And they had a huge record-setting game by Carson Rogers. 40 points, 11 rebounds, 13 of 14 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3, 13 of 15 at the line. He had 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. 6 points for Braden Messenger, 2 of 5 shooting, 2 of 4 from deep with 2 rebounds plus an assist. 4 points for Malachi King, now 2 of the 4 with the free throw line, though. He had 3 rebounds. You had 20 points for Mar Avance, 9 of 15 shooting, 2 of 3 at the line with 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. And then you also had 20 points for Javon Lewis, 8 of 9 shooting, 3 of 3 from beyond the arc, 1 of 1 at the line with 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. And then off the bench, Keyshawn McNeil in 5 minutes of action did not score, but he had an assist. 3 points for Jordan Fernie with 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. And 2 points for Trey Dillard with 2 rebounds. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us to Upland, Indiana, where number 19 Huntington faced off against Taylor, and Huntington, the winners here, 74-64, avenging an earlier loss at home to the Trojans. And leading the way for Huntington, they had some really good balanced scoring. You had 18 points for Caden Johnson, 9 of 15 shooting. He had 11 rebounds, so a double-double for him. He also had 4 assists and 3 blocks, though. 18 points for Miles Good, 4 of 12 shooting, 3 of 7 from deep. A perfect 7 of 7 at the charity stripe, and a lot of that was in the closing seconds, icing the game at the free throw line. He also had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. 5 points for Cade Brenner, who really struggled shooting at 2 of 12, and he had 1 rebound. 13 points for Keelane Lassisi on 5 of 7 shooting, 1 of 1 from deep, 2 of 5 at the line. He also had 7 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks. And 15 points for Jackson Paul off 7 of 10 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep. He had 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. And then off the bench in 2 minutes of action, Matthew Spears, no statistics. And Landon Beagle with 5 points, 2 of 5 shooting with 2 steals and 2 rebounds. And Huntington shot good from the field at 47. And they struggled from 3 at 30. Decent at the free throw line, converting 9 out of 12 for 75. Meanwhile, for Taylor, they were worse from the field at 42. Better from 3, albeit by not a lot, at 37. And they were worse at the free throw line, but they only got to the free throw line 6 times, converted 4 of those for 66. And leading the way for Taylor was Pete Combs, 12 points, 5 of 12 shooting, 2 of 4. That was from deep. He also had 1 rebound and assist plus a block. 12 points for Isaiah Day, 5 of 13 shooting, 2 of 7 from deep, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Really, really good balanced numbers there. 8 points for Anthony McGee, all 3 of 8 shooting, 1 of 4 from deep, 1 of 2 at the line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. 11 points for Carson Gold, 5 of 7 shooting, 1 of 2 of that was from deep. He also had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and then 3 points for Nate Paulberg with 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Off the bench, TJ Davidson, 4 points, 2 of 2 shooting, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Only 1 point for Ano Wogar, but that was at the free throw line. 2 points for Levin Smith, which was at the free throw line. 1 rebound and 2 blocks. And then 11 points for Nathan Baker, 4 of 7 shooting, 3 of 5 from deep, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for him. And that was your match up there. The next matchup takes us to Mount Vernon, Ohio, where Mount Vernon Nazarene faced off against number 10 Bethel. And Mount Vernon Nazarene probably should have beaten Bethel the first time. And this time, Mount Vernon Nazarene with another huge upset, 91-83, the final score here. This is back-to-back home games where Mount Vernon Nazarene has upset two top 10 opponents. So a big congratulations to them. And leading the way for Bethel, you had 26 points for Austin Kripe, 9 of 12 shooting, 4 of 6 from deep, 4 of 5 at the line, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. 16 points for Alonis Basilius, 5 of 11 shooting, 6 of 9 at the line. He had 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. 13 points for Luke McBride, 5 of 13 shooting, 3 of 9 from deep. He had 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals. 10 points for Colin Comer, 4 of 11 shooting, 2 of 6 from deep. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block, and 4 points for Jameer Jefferson, 2 of the 4 at the free throw line. He also had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Off the bench, Mason Bales in 2 minutes of action, no statistics. Carter Kent, 3 points in 8 minutes of action. You had 5 points for Andrew Hedrick with 4 assists, 2 points for Alex Johnson with 2 rebounds, and 4 points for Alex Ellenson with 3 rebounds. And Bethel shot 41 from the field, 36 from deep, and struggled at the free throw line, converting 12 out of 19 for 63. MVNU shot way better from the field at 54, way better from 3 at 42, and they were slightly better at the free throw line, converting 17 out of 25 for 68. And MVNU had some really good balanced scoring. 21 points by Trent Koning, 5 of 8 shooting, 4 of 7 from deep, 7 of 7 at the line. He had 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. 12 points for Abib, 4 of 8 shooting, 4 of 4 at the line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. 16 points for Reed Platfoot, 7 of 11 shooting, 1 of 1 from deep. He had 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks. And you had 17 points for Isaiah Brown with 7 of 15 shooting, 3 of 5 at the line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks. 14 points for Peyton Heiss with 11 rebounds and 10 assists. So he had a triple-double. He was 6 of 11 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, 1 of 1 at the line. So a big congratulations to Peyton for a triple-double yesterday. And then off the bench, you had B.D. Laurie in 4 minutes of action, no statistics. Grant Burkholder did not score in 9 minutes, but he had a rebound, an assist, and a steal. And Devin Dreyer did not score either off the bench, but he had 3 rebounds and 11 points for Kieran Granville, 5 of 8 shooting with 5 rebounds, 1 assist. And that was your matchup there. The final matchup takes us to Winona Lake, where number 2 Grace faced off against number 3 Indiana Wesleyan. This was an all-time classic game, and Grace prevailing here, 83-78. The Wildcats, though, probably should have won the game, but they missed 10 free throws, so that was your big difference there. And leading the way for Indiana Wesleyan, Cademan Bontrager, 33 points, 12 of 28 shooting, 2 of 6 from deep, 7 of 12 at the line. He had 13 rebounds, so a double-double for him. 7 points for Jake Smith, 2 of 7 shooting with 3 rebounds, 4 assists. 8 points for Miller McCartney, 3 of 7 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep, 4 rebounds. 4 points for Julius Gizzi, now 2 of the 4 were at the free throw line, though. He also had 1 rebound, 2 assists, and a steal. And 7 points for DJ Moore, 2 of 5 shooting, 3 of 4 from the line. 6 assists, 6 rebounds, and 1 steal. Off the bench, Isaac Andrews only with 6 points, but he had 3 rebounds plus an assist. 3 points for Crew Gibson with 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. And 10 points for Marcus Ankney, 4 of 4 shooting, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc, 6 rebounds, and a block. And Indiana Wesleyan struggled shooting at just 37, both from the field and from 3. And again, they really struggled at the free throw line, converting 15 out of 25 for 60. That's your big difference there. And then for Grace shot better from the field at 49, slightly worse from 3 at 35, and better at the free throw line, converting 14 out of 20 for 70. And leading the way for Grace was Gage Sefton, 29 points, 13 rebounds, a double-double for him, 9 of 13 shooting, 2 of 4 at the line, 2 of 4 from deep, I should say, 9 of 10 at charity stripe, and a lot of that was icing the game in the closing seconds from the line. And then, 12 points for Tyler Rouse, 5 of 9 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. Really, really good to see that. Only 2 points for Hunter Walston with 1 rebound, 1 assist. Ian Rouse only played 6 minutes with a rebound and a steal, so I hope he's not injured. 7 points for Grady Carpenter, 3 of 8 shooting with 7 assists, 1 rebound, 1 steal. Off the bench, Michael Wellman, 14 points, 5 of 12 shooting, 3 of 6 from deep. He had 5 rebounds and a block. 4 points for Cannon Hauser, 2 of 7 shooting, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. 13 points for Gavin Benton, 5 of 9 shooting, 3 of 4 at the line, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. And then Caleb Harold did not score in 11 minutes of action, and Cole Hayworth in 6 minutes of action, 2 points with a block. And that was your matchup there. And that concludes recapping all the games from last night. So looking at previewing the upcoming games for Wednesday, 2 regular season games remaining. You'll have Marion at number 3, Indiana Wesleyan. You'll have Mount Vernon Nazarene at Goshen. Spring Arbor will be at Taylor. St. Francis will be at number 19, Huntington, on their senior night. And then you also will have really America's game of the week by far, number 2, Grace, at number 10, Bethel. And then looking at the updated Crossroads League standings with 2 games remaining, Grace officially, well, not officially, but Grace with 1 more win, they will officially win the Crossroads League regular season. They punched their ticket to the national tournament with an auto bid. They're 14-2. They have clinched the number 1 seed in the Crossroads League tournament, meaning they get home court advantage throughout all 3 rounds, as long as they win the first 2. Indiana Wesleyan, the 2 seed at 12-4. Bethel and Huntington tied for the 3 seed at 11-5. And then Taylor 1 game behind them at 10-6. For that 5 seed, Bethel the 3, Huntington the 4, Taylor the 5, Mount Vernon Nazarene the 6 at 7-9, 1 game ahead of Spring Arbor at 6-10, and then 2 games ahead of St. Francis. St. Francis 1 game behind Spring Arbor at 5-11. Marion has been eliminated from playoff contention, and Goshen has also been eliminated too, because Goshen's 2-14, St. Francis 5-11. There's only 2 games left, so obviously Goshen and Marion both eliminated, so St. Francis officially is locked no worse than the number 8 seed in the Crossroads League tournament. Same thing for Spring Arbor. And for Mount Vernon Nazarene, 1 more win by them or 1 more loss by Spring Arbor, and Mount Vernon Nazarene would officially lock that number 6 seed because they hold the common opponent tiebreaker over Spring Arbor with beating Grace, as well as Bethel, because Spring Arbor also got swept by Bethel. St. Francis, Mount Vernon Nazarene holds the common opponent tiebreaker over St. Francis because of beating Grace, and St. Francis got swept by Bethel and they got swept by Grace. So even then, St. Francis or Mount Vernon Nazarene would hold the common opponent tiebreaker over both Spring Arbor and St. Francis. So Mount Vernon Nazarene officially is no worse than the 7 seed, even if they lose out and St. Francis wins out, because Mount Vernon Nazarene would be ahead of them because of the upset win over Grace. And meanwhile, for Indiana Wesleyan, they need more than likely the last 2 games to officially lock that number 2 seed. And this is where it gets interesting for the 3, 4, and 5. Now, Indiana Wesleyan has locked no worse than the number 4 seed because they are 2 games ahead of Taylor. However, Indiana Wesleyan does hold the common opponent tiebreaker over Taylor because of sweeping Goshen, at least as of today. Now, obviously, Taylor still has to play Spring Arbor, and they still have to play Mount Vernon Nazarene again, so we're going to see how all that plays out. But if you wanted to get technical, as of right now, Indiana Wesleyan would officially be no worse than the number 4 seed because of sweeping Goshen, and of course, Taylor lost to Goshen, so that common opponent tiebreaker would favor the Wildcats. So the Wildcats officially are no worse than the 4 seed, and so, but obviously the 2, 3, and 4 are still up for grabs, really between Bethel and Huntington. So obviously, we're going to know a lot more after Wednesday, that's for sure. It's kind of to the point now to where we don't really know, because Bethel could drop all the way down to the 5 if they lose out and Taylor wins the last 2. So again, this is going to be interesting to see how all this plays out on the men's side, and obviously we're not going to know for sure exactly what's going to happen until we get past Wednesday night. So that is going to do it for recapping this video on the men's side. So if you did enjoy this video or find it super helpful to you, please either leave me a like or comment. And also, please subscribe to my channel so you are first notified whenever I upload new episodes. Thanks so much for tuning into this video, and I will see you momentarily going over all the women's games from yesterday. God bless.